And so, and that's one of the things that people who knew me at a younger age and know me now keep saying, you're a different person. Well, when you hear the question or when you can interact with people, you're not so hesitant to get involved. And again, that's why, having a good test and seeing what can help you in terms of your hearing loss. But it's great to have those experiences.
Of course, but also to be able to hear and to be able to answer the questions properly. I can imagine you would become introverted a little bit when you couldn't hear what was going on. You became such a big star at such a young age. What inspired you in the first place to run? Was that an outlet for you?
Well, Wendy, you want to know a secret? I couldn't do anything else.
Yes.
I mean, when you come from the church baseball team, the junior high basketball team, you can't make the junior high track and field team. You go out for a sport in high school you knew nothing about, which was cross country. In fact, my experience in cross country is I thought it was fall track and field. And so it was a shock to me when you're racing 2 miles, and I hadn't run further than one lap on the track, a quarter of a mile. So for me, the motivation was I wanted to be a part of a team. I wanted to be out with the boys. And so along came this enormous success that I really didn't know quite how to handle. And yet I'm grateful for that answered prayer as a junior high boy that, dear God, if you got a plan, please show up. And boy, did he show up, because within 2 years, I was on my first Olympic team, and I'd run it at 4 minutes. So it was a journey that I look back on now, and I'm very grateful for.
What was the training like for you back then? Was it so intense, or was it typical high school, which could be very intense as well?
Well, we weren't a typical high school in that sense, because my coach, Bob Timmons, was a former Marine, and I say that in the context of he brought great discipline, and he also brought great vision and goal setting. Our workouts were enormous. Looking back on them, we overtrained. As an example, we ran as many as 40 times a quarter mile repeat on the track for one workout, 4 sets of 10, and that took a couple hours. Well, it's overtraining. However, the great success that came from it is that my high school coach not only coached high school cross-country track and swimming, but he only lost 1 state championships in the 8 years he was in there. That was a swimming competition. So he had great success, but our training methods were pretty unorthodox. In fact, one of our children, my son, said at one point, looking back on it, Dad, you were a little bit of a freak. And I was, in a sense, that I adjusted well to the workout. So I'm grateful for those experiences.
So nice for our kids to say things like that to us, right? Like, just be honest. Kids can be so honest. If you just, I'm talking to Track and Field Ledger, former U.S. Congressman Jim Ryun. We're talking about hearing aids and how important it is to get tested and to get the right hearing aid. And now there's so much opportunity to get a great hearing aid. Were you able to enjoy the Olympics? You were only in high school. What was that like?
Well, I had my first experience in 1964. Again, I'd been running just for 2 years. When I arrived at the Tokyo Olympics in 1964, I discovered they were held every 4 years. That was how rookie-natured I was. So I thought, well, maybe, by the grace of God, maybe I can come back in 4 years and try again. 4 years later, I won a silver medal. It was a great experience getting to represent your country, and I look back on it now and cherish those moments.
Amazing. And in 1975, you founded the Jim Ryun running camp. Tell us about that. Is that still in existence to this day?
It is. We've been doing them ever since, and we've had thousands of young people that have come through from all over the world. You can go to our website, RyunRunning.com. You need to put the U in the Ryun, R-Y-U-N, running.com. But it's an opportunity to help young runners, coaches, families, and we've been doing it since, as you just mentioned, since 1975. This last year, we had to go to a virtual camp due to the fact that the pandemic limited where we could go in terms of a live camp. But they're still in existence, and it's such a great experience to help.
So many challenges with COVID right now, and going virtual, I'm sure that was a challenge as well, but everyone's trying to go virtual, go Zoom, and go everything else. So the newest generation, I don't want to pronounce it wrong, the invisible hearing aid that's worn 24/7. Can you tell us where to get more information about that?
You can go to trylyric.com. It's a great way to look at it online. You can ask your local audiologist, and I would encourage you to give it strong consideration. Again, they're invisible. You can shower in them. You can run in them. And for me, it becomes a safety issue as well, because in my earlier days as a runner, without Lyric, I would find myself on the streets running, and I wouldn't be aware of my surroundings. I was watching, but you don't always hear the car, the truck, the person. now when I'm out running, I hear all of those sounds, and they really do provide a safety feature, which is an important aspect of it as well.
I think that it's wonderful, and I think the fact that it's worn 24/7 and you can feel like you don't have to worry about taking it in and out is such a big bonus. They've come so far with all that.
They have.
Last question.
You don't have to change batteries or anything.
Right, because then you could be the batteries are. I remember my dad, when my dad was alive, he had a hearing aid, and it was always the batteries are out. And I'm like, Dad, you can't hear us. So I wish I had known about this when he was here. But last questions, Jim, Ryun, and I thank you so much for joining me and talking about this and bringing this awareness to us. Being awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Wow.
Wendy, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for joining me on this episode of What's Up with Wendy. If you love this episode, head over to iTunes or your favorite platform to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Please also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at What's Up with Wendy. You can learn more about my podcast on my website, whatsupwithwendy.com. Until next time, this is Wendy Lowy Sloan. Keep being kind.